Version 6.5 is now just a few weeks away, and recently we have received a lot of new information about future banners, next region characters, and much more. So let's break everything down. Let's start with version 6.6 banners. We will be getting two brand new characters, Nicole and Lohen. Nicole is expected to be a pyro support and also a member of the Hexerei faction. Recently, we also got hints that older units like Eula, Kaeya, Jean, Noelle, Lisa, Mika, and Amber might receive new Hexerei buffs. And honestly, that sounds amazing. We already know how impactful previous kit changes were and how much they shifted the meta, not just for Hexerei units, but even for characters like Mualani, Flynn's, and Navia, who all received massive indirect buffs. So imagine what kind of upgrades units like Lisa or Kaeya could get. Or maybe they finally fix the gene tech. It is going to be very interesting to see. Let me know your theories about this. Now, coming back to the topic, as mentioned earlier, Nicole will be releasing alongside these new changes, and she is most likely going to be a unit similar to Durin, who works well with these types of teams. That also matches the early kit information we have received. She is expected to be a shielder with team-wide attack buffs and crit damage buffs, essentially acting as a replacement for Bennett. However, there is one issue. We also got information that she might deal almost no personal damage and function purely as a buffer, which feels a bit questionable, because as a new unit, it would make more sense for her to utilize the new Hexerei DPS set, but if she is a full support, then something like Noblesse Oblige would likely be her best in slot, which does not fully align with the current design trend. So we'll need more information before making a final judgment. Before we move forward, a quick message. If you are into top-ups, make sure to check out Loot Bar. They regularly offer discounts for multiple games and are one of the most trusted third-party platforms with millions of users and high ratings. You can also get extra discounts with first-time sign-up coupons. Just use the link below to get started. Now, coming back to the video, we will also get Lohen, a new cryo character in the same version. He's expected to be a polearm user, and based on current information, he will likely be added to the standard banner after release, which is why there is not much hype around him right now. We also don't have much information about his kit yet. Now, talking about rerun units, there are a couple of possible scenarios. First, we could get two Archon reruns, similar to version 6.1, for example, Mavuika in the first phase and Raiden in the second phase. Or we could get one Archon rerun and one rerun from a Nod-Krai unit, like Durin. So the banner could look something like Durin and Nicole in the first half, followed by Lohen and Raiden in the second half. Now moving on to version 6.7, which is going to be one of the biggest updates of the entire region, not just from a lore perspective, but also from a banner's perspective. We will finally get Sandrone in a completely new form, and that is most likely the reason why her silhouette in the teaser was hidden. Hoyoverse probably did not want to reveal her new design early. According to current speculation, she might be revived and return in a completely different form, which actually makes sense because her current version does not really look playable in combat. As for her element, she is currently expected to be an electro unit, focused on bringing superconduct back into the meta. However, her role is still unclear. Some leaks suggest she will be a support, while others say she might be a DPS. Nothing is confirmed yet, but one thing is clear. She will most likely be playable in a completely new form. Personally, I would prefer her to be a DPS, because if she turns out to be a support, then we would get 3 back-to-back support units, Linnea, Nicole, and Sandrone, and that would be very unusual. In Fontaine, we got strong DPS units like Clorinde and Arlecchino, and the same trend continued in Notlon, so it would be surprising if Nod-Krai gives us no DPS units in that phase. Another interesting point is if she is a superconduct-focused unit, then who will be her best-in-slot teammates? Hoyoverse will most likely design another unit to synergize with her. Let me know what you think about that, because right now we are not really seeing many new Electro units being teased. Instead, we are getting hints of a new Hydro DPS, which we will talk about next. Now talking about reruns. It is pretty straightforward. If either Raiden or Mavuika does not get a rerun in version 6.6, then they will most likely appear in version 6.7. Raiden in particular makes a lot of sense because of the potential superconduct focus. For other reruns, we could see Notlon units returning, like Mulanni or Sitlali, or even a surprise rerun from older characters, especially if they benefit from upcoming buffs. We've seen this before with Shenhe, who received back-to-back reruns, first in Chronicle banners and then again in version 5.7 alongside Skirk. Looking at past trends, Hoyoverse usually gives at least one rerun to recently released characters before moving to the next region, so expect characters like Zebai, Columbina, and Varka to get reruns in version 6.7 or 6.8. The exact order can vary, but they are all due for reruns soon. Now, let's talk about new upcoming characters. One of the most talked about names right now is Vodyanitsa. She's expected to be a Hydro character, which makes sense since the next region is inspired by northern areas like Russia. The name itself comes from Slavic roots, Vodya meaning water, and Nitsa being associated with a feminine form. So she is most likely a Hydro female unit, and very likely a DPS, because we are long overdue for a new Hydro DPS. The last one we got was Mulanni, and by the time we reach version 7.0, it will have been almost 2 years, which makes it very likely that we will get a Hydro DPS at the start of the next region. There are also a lot of rumors about characters like Piero, Alice, and Dainsleif becoming playable, but right now none of this information comes from reliable sources, so take it with a grain of salt. Now, talking about Chronicle banners, they are expected to return for Fontaine around version 6.8 or 7.0, most likely in version 6.8 during the summer event patch, alongside a rerun of Farina, since that version currently does not have any confirmed new characters, although this could still change. As mentioned earlier, the next region will most likely focus on Cryo, and early characters will be designed around Cryo interactions, just like Natlan focused on Pyro, and Nod-Krai focused on lunar reactions. We already made videos covering possible outcomes, so make sure to check those out and let me know what you think. Do you think Sandrone will release as a DPS or become a DPS later through buffs? Also, we are running a small giveaway in the Discord server, so make sure to join. Until next time.